In this lesson, we're going to look at drawing bitmaps. At times when you're writing drawing code, you need to use an existing image. Perhaps it's a standalone image, or perhaps it's just a portion of a larger drawing. No matter, we'll take a look at how to draw the bitmap in this lesson. We're going to create a bitmap view, and we'll set the content of our activity to use that bitmap view. In the bitmap view, we're going to get a rectangle height because we're going to draw this bitmap in two different ways, so the top half will be one way and the bottom half of the screen will be the other way. So we create our first destination rectangle where the bitmap is going to be drawn using the top half of the screen. And we're going to take the icon bitmap out of the resources. And that's this icon here. Then we're going to get a source rectangle. And the source rectangle is the rectangle that comes from the bitmap. So we can actually take just a portion of the bitmap if we want. And you might want to do that if you're doing something like a sprite technique. In this case, we actually want the entire bitmap, so we create our rectangle using 0 as the left, 0 as the top, the full bitmap width, and the full bitmap height. And then we're going to use our graphics helper class to draw the bitmap. And we'll pass in the canvas, the bitmap object, the source rectangle, and the destination rectangle on our canvas. We'll then offset our destination rectangle and just move it down half of the screen. And then we'll call the graphics helper with the draw bitmap a different override, passing in the canvas, the bitmap, and just the destination rectangle. So let's take a look at that first override, where we're passing in the source rectangle and the destination rectangle. We're calling out a canvas draw bitmap method using the bitmap, the source rectangle, destination rectangle, and the paint object. And what this override is going to do, it's going to take the source rectangle and fit it to the destination rectangle. It's basically a stretch draw. In this case, our destination rectangle is much bigger than our source rectangle, so we're going to stretch the source to a much larger size, and the aspect ratio isn't the same either. This override doesn't consider any of that, so you have to be a little bit careful with that. The second override we're doing, where we just pass in the destination rectangle, merely takes the bitmap, the left and the top of the destination rectangle, and the paint object, and it just draws the bitmap at its actual size using the left and top as the coordinates. So we'll see how that looks. So here's our stretch draw in the top version, and you can see the aspect ratio is flattened out and it's much larger than the original version. And this is our second override where we just drew from the top left corner and used the icon in its regular size. So drawing a bitmap is as simple as that. In our next lesson, we're going to take a look at drawing more complex shapes.